Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into a set of sources about an incident back on April 28th, 2025, happened in Rochester, Minnesota.
Yeah, Soldiers Field Memorial Park.
Exactly. Our mission basically is to piece together what happened, the immediate fallout, and maybe some wider implications from these sources.
And it all seems to center around this confrontation, right?
Mm.
Between Shiloh Hendricks, a white woman, and a very young black child, just 5 years old.
Right. The flashpoint was Hendricks using racial slurs, apparently after accusing the child of taking something from her son's diaper bag.
And then, crucially, someone filmed it, Sharmaik Omar. That video just exploded online.
It really did. So the video itself, what do the sources say is actually in it?
Well, it apparently shows Omar confronting Hendricks. And instead of backing down, she reportedly repeats the N-word.
Wow.
Yeah, and justifies it by saying something like, if he acts like one, then he's going to be called one. Pretty shocking language.
Definitely. And didn't Omar also claim she said something about his family being on welfare?
He did, yes. So you have this video evidence, raw and direct, which just fueled the public outrage almost instantly.
And that leads straight to the online reaction. It was fast.
Yeah.
Hendricks was identified very quickly.
Which then led to these concerns about doxing. There were claims her personal details got leaked, SSN, address, phone number, even where she worked out.
That's intense. She claims she received threats because of all that. It really raises questions about, online vigilantism.
Absolutely. And following that, she launched a fundraiser on GiveSendGo. Help Me Protect My Family, I think it was called.
Yeah, that's the one. Her reasoning was essentially that she was in a dire situation because of the alleged theft, the doxing, the threats, needing money for protection, maybe even to move.
And it took off financially, didn't it? Like, really took off.
Astonishingly fast. Over $600,000 raised very quickly.
Which itself became a huge point of discussion.
Right. Who was donating? Why? There were reports, especially before comments were moderated, of really openly racist messages from donors.
So it wasn't just about helping her personally for some people. It seemed like an ideological statement almost.
Kind of. GiveSendGo put out a statement, standard stuff about not endorsing views of fundraisers or donors.
And Hendricks later posted an update thanking people, but also saying she was still scared.
It makes you think about these online funding platforms and how they can become flashpoints.
Totally. And people immediately started comparing it to other fundraisers, like one for Carmelo Anthony, a black teen involved in a stabbing case. The donation patterns were, well, very different.
Yeah, sparking that whole online debate about, does being evil pay? Essentially questioning the motivations behind who gets funded and why.
It highlights potential biases, for sure.
Now, shifting a bit, what about Hendricks's background? Do we know much?
Honestly, not a lot that's verified. Sources say she's a Rochester resident, has kids. There was a mention of a Brunel University connection, same name anyway, but unconfirmed.
And that picture that circulated, supposedly her with a black partner.
Yeah, that was questioned pretty heavily too. Seems old, maybe not even her. It just shows how fast misinformation can spread in these situations.
Okay, so let's talk about Sharmaik Omar, the person who filmed it. What's his side of the story?
His account emphasizes the child's age, 5, and he mentioned the possibility of autism. He also stressed the parents were there, Somali heritage like him, and visibly upset.
And he stuck by the claim about the welfare comment from Hendricks.
Yes, he did. But then he came under scrutiny himself.
Right. Hendricks apparently mentioned his history with law enforcement.
And then social media researchers, or just users, linked him to a Sharmaik Bail Omar who had faced criminal charges back in 2023.
But what happened with those charges?
That's key. They were dismissed in the interest of justice in March 2025. A state delegate even confirmed that later.
So dismissed charges being brought up? It feels like a way to discredit him, maybe?
It's a tactic you see sometimes, yeah. Try to undermine the witness. And there were other people with similar names mentioned too. Totally irrelevant, just adds to the noise.
So amid all this, how did officials and the community respond?
The city of Rochester condemned the video, talked about inclusivity, confirmed the police were looking into it.
And the police confirmed an active investigation.
Yes. The Rochester NAACP also came out strongly. They condemned Hendricks, called for charges, and even started a counter fundraiser for the boy's family.
A counter fundraiser? Wow. And they denounced her fundraiser.
Called it abhorrent, I believe. And some local politicians put out a joint statement too, condemning the racism and actually thanking Omar.
It sounds like this hit a nerve in Rochester.
Well, and it wasn't exactly happening in a vacuum, right? Sources mention other recent racial incidents there, a slur issue at Century High School last year, vandalism at Representative Hicks's home, and a synagogue.
Ah, okay. So there's a broader context of tension.
Seems like it. There were even talks of protests being planned around this park incident.
So wrapping this up, it's incredibly complex. You have the confrontation, the video going viral, these starkly contrasting fundraisers, big questions about online behavior, accountability.
It really is a tangled web,
Yeah.
and it happened so fast.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Thinking about the speed of information, online funding. What does this whole episode really tell us, maybe tell you listening, about how we as communities process accusations of racism now in this digital age?
And what are the long-term impacts? For Hendricks, for Omar, for the child and his family, and for Rochester itself. Lots to think about.